we live in a world where we can all say that we're satisfied. However, there are some issues that we can't really get rid of. So today, I have asked some people to come in and answer some questions that I'll be asking them all. So to help you guys relate to them, or to understand what they feel. Alright, now let's begin.
Anxiety to me is like when I'm too scared to do something. Well, it's like not too scared, but it's like I'm worried. I feel like my heart's beating. I tend to think about of all the things what could go wrong, and I feel like a lot of it is just me basically just overreacting to things that I shouldn't be worried about at all. Like for example, this happened earlier today. I went outside to go catch a bus and I heard sirens. I think it ended up being the fire department because that lives quite close to my house. However, a car slowly started to drive past me, and I'm like, oh, that's fine, you know. But with the sirens and the car slowly going next to me, I was kind of like, is something bad going to happen here? And it was a genuine worry I did have. And then I ended up turning because there's another way I can go to the closest bus stop. However, the car followed me, so I kind of oh shit, is this gonna be the end? Like, is this guy criminal on the run and I'm gonna get murdered? But then it all turned out to be fine. I won't lie. I turned back, went home, and said to my mum, oh yeah, I forgot something. I didn't, but I ended up going to the bus stop seconds later. Nothing was wrong. It was kind of just a case of me overreacting to the things around.
Yeah, that people don't like me when I first meet them.
People laughing in public because I think they're laughing at me even though I know that they're not.
I think I would say honestly global warming. I think there's a lot of instability with what's going on. The rapid increase in the weather and the extreme climate definitely doesn't help. And I think the long-term future, 20, 30 years from now, can be quite not so positive.
Thoughts about lucid dreaming because of how open and scary it can be sometimes.
College is kind of like dipping your toe into the pool of university. College is just a diet university. University is basically where the big boys go to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Say you want to do art, you can probably do whatever the fuck art thing you want to do at university, or at specialised art schools that are pretty much like university. And then with work after university, what some people kind of find is that the work at university was almost pointless. All it was there to do is just get them used to the equipment they're going to use. But that doesn't mean that uni can't help you get into some good jobs.
I feel stressed and overwhelmed because the workload lately has been far too much.
More fed up or stressed a lot of time, especially on Mondays and Tuesdays, because it's just really long.
I do look forward to it. I think it's sometimes in the morning, it can be quite hard to wake up at early hours and prepare for the day. But I look forward to coming into college, and I enjoy looking forward to it.
It depends how I've woken up, to be honest. If I woke up and it's like, you know, I've had a good morning, then I'll come to college with a good feeling. If I don't, then I won't. So that's about it.
The future is a thing that eludes most people, because something that is enticing but also scary. You can't predict the future. You can only plan for it. The future is something that most people don't even know what they want for. Most people say they want one thing, but then they end up trying for it, and then they don't want to end up doing it anymore. And then they're stuck in in a type of limbo where they're trying to find out what they want to do. They think about something they want to do, and then they try it, and it doesn't work out for them.
I feel nervous that I won't be able to provide and that I won't have, I don't know, like a good job that'll help me provide, I guess.
Scared sometimes because I don't like to think about it. I just go with the flow.
I think it's. That's an interesting question. I think it'll be positive. I think there's an uncertainty with what could happen in the next few years with everything that's going on, but say foggy. That's how I describe it. Foggy.
At the moment, pretty good, because I have quite a lot of experience in different industries, and I feel like I can make a career out of probably any of them.
Some of the biggest issues of today are stuff like the Russia-Ukraine thing. And some people be like, well, that doesn't affect us. It does affect us, even though we're not in the war and we're not actually getting attacked by Russia or helping Ukraine or even fighting Ukraine. It still affected us in a different sense. Because Russia and Ukraine are fighting, it's very hard for us, because of the sanctions on Russia, it's very hard for us to get energy because we actually import most of our energy from other countries. So even though we're not involved in that war, it's still fucking us over, which is causing a UK, like, we've got an energy crisis on our hands. Like, people are having to choose between food and electricity, which is a weird thing, so you should have to choose between them two things, because they should be a necessity. Like, there should be two things no one has to worry about. But then, if you look at other things, like, for example, China's been caught recently spying on the US through air balloons, and the US just shot them down, which is going to affect the US and China's relationship. But since we're very close allies to the US, that also might affect our relationship with China. And then you've got other issues like the fact we've got a shit government in the UK. We've had, I think it's since David Cameron, we haven't had and even David Cameron in his second term, he didn't fill out his second term because we haven't had a prime minister, conservative prime minister, finish their full term. It's always been a case of some scandal ends up happening. David Cameron was different. He just kind of, after Brexit, he was like, no. And I feel like that's really not helped the country because we haven't had it's been the same party, but we haven't had an actual clear goal.
Money problems, homelessness, mainly because even though the world is overpopulated, if I'm being honest, there's not really much to provide or help provide for them. Really.
The prices of sanitary products, because I feel like they shouldn't be as expensive as what they are now and should be a bit cheaper.
I'd say COVID, but it's slowly dying down. I feel like the biggest problem we face right now is over a long, like if we're talking over a long period of time, it's probably global warming. And if we're talking, in the short term, then I'd say things that are going on like publicly.
I would say that today the world is very divided and there's absolutely no unity whatsoever, and that's the main cause of the world's issues today, very divided.
5 out of the 6 people that took the survey said in response to the question, what gives you the most anxiety, said something related to people or speaking to people. 50% of the people who took the survey said that they felt okay when they entered college. But the other half said that they felt overwhelmed or even scared. 4 of the 6 people in response to the question, what are your worries for the future, said something related to money or not being able to provide for their family. In response to the question, what is the most common problem in the world right now, we got very varied responses. But the general consensus is that homelessness, the cost of living, sexual assault and assault in general are the biggest issues right now. When given the question, which do you think the most common problem is, and given options between racism, amount of strikes, cost of living, knife crime, and government, 33.33% said racism, 16.67% said amount of strikes, 33.33% said cost of living, 16.67% said knife crime, and 0% said government.
Well, there you go. That was everyone's views on the topic. Now, I want to thank you all very much for watching this documentary, and I'll see you soon. Bye!